25 minutes before 9 o'clock now. Some morning news with Webster and Nancy on WILK.
Ho, ho, ho.
Lose the music, Jake. You can't hear me. He doesn't have headphones on.
John's handing out presents.
Lose the music.
He's slamming
Dear
it.
God,
Everybody in the studio. He's like the Grinch all of a sudden.
Unbelievable.
Here, have a gift now.
Dear
Turn the camera on.
God, wow. All righty. All right, here we go.
I didn't even get our live video going yet. Where are we?
And now... And now, the two-time winner of the Pennsylvania Association of Broadcasters Award and the two-time winner of the Pennsylvania Associated Press Broadcasters Association Award to promote and advance the craft and microbrew culture in Northeast Pennsylvania. It is another edition of the Friday Beer Buzz!
And the Friday Beer Buzz powered by Sabatini's Pizza and Sabatini's Bottle Shop and Bar in Exeter. One of the area's greatest selections of rare craft and imported beers. Growlers and Crowlers, a hand pump.
Oh my.
And 36 rotating drafts at Sabatini's Pizza and Sabatini's Bottle Shop and Bar, Wyoming Avenue in Exeter. I'm getting us on live video in just a moment.
I know you're gonna do that. We were short a set of headphones in here, so I pulled the headphones off Jake's head so he can't hear a thing. He's running the show, but he can't listen to it. Lindo's got his headphones on. Lindo, good morning. Lindo Sabatini.
Good morning.
Good morning. It's cold outside. You came in. I thought you were putting a new floor in. You had a hood on and a jacket, and it looked like a tool belt, I thought. But
there's no way I would miss this. I've already left more in the last 10 minutes than I have all week.
We're having a good time. This is going to be our final live Friday Beer Buzz of the year today, here, right now. And we have the special hour-long pageant of the airwaves coming up next week. Bill from mybeerbuzz.com, of course.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday,
and
Bill.
happy holidays.
Same to you.
It's going to seem strange next Friday to stay home. No, actually it's not. It's going to feel nice to lay in bed.
I'm going to play the home version next week. Believe me when I tell you.
Keep a cooler and a bottle opener next to the bed and just roll over at 8:30 and
tell
pop a
myself
beer.
stories about beer.
We have a guest joining us. He has awakened early for us and has been waiting on hold. And he is joining us from Anchor Brewing from San Francisco, California. We have brewmaster and VP of production, Scott Ungermann.
Hey, Scott Ungermann.
Hello.
And Scott, and thank you for calling. And you've been on hold since about 5 to 5. You've been on hold quite a while, so we appreciate that.
Oh, no problem. It's a pleasure to call in.
Thanks.
Anchor started in 1965. Fritz Maytag got a real deal on a brewery. Took him about 10 years to turn everything around, and has been one of my absolute favorites, one of the very first craft breweries that I've discovered. And one of the beers we're going to feature a beer today that has been one of the beers that I actually enjoy every year from Anchor. But the story, Scott, that I like to ask first, and I know it's always a little bit different, but people ask me all the time, what is steam beer? So give us your take on what exactly is steam beer.
Okay, so Anchor Steam Beer is our flagship beer. It's the beer we are most known for, and it's the only beer we were making when Fritz bought the brewery back in 1965. It's a unique California style of beer. It's actually referred to as California Common, the style of beer. It's a hybrid between an ale and a lager. It has some caramel malt and a nice hoppy bitterness, but not overly hoppy. It's not dry hopped. There's a pleasant hop aroma, but it's mainly about the yeast and the way we ferment the beer. We ferment with a lager yeast in open fermentation tanks that are very shallow and quite warm for a lager, and so it's a quick fermentation that produces a lot of fruity esters, so you have that caramel and fruitiness and hop bitterness, and the beer is pleasant and drinkable. It's a very unique beer and a very distinct San Francisco flavor.
And there's no actual steam in the beer or steam used in the processing of the beer.
Well, there is. I mean, most brewers use steam to heat the brew kettles, and,
sure.
and we do that, of course, too. So, yeah, that's kind of what everybody does. What the uniqueness of the name steam beer comes from really back to the gold rush days when people first came out here to California to make beer, and they didn't have proper refrigeration like we had in other parts of the country and places that they came from, and so they had to improvise in certain steps in the process. And one of the things they had to improvise was cooling. In the brew house, we produce something called wort. It's wort before it's beer, and you have to cool that in order to put the yeast in and get it to ferment and turn into beer. And the way that they cooled was in these open cool ships on the top of the roofs of the brew breweries, and that would produce big pillars of steam coming off the top of the brewery, and that's one of the possibilities. But really, the name is kind of cloaked in lost in history that no one knows the exact name. That's my favorite part of the story, though.
And the California Common Style now has had a sort of a resurgence, and I know people are putting other names on it, but I think we're seeing that sort of style come back, so that's exciting. You guys do a series of beers called the Zymaster series. Can you give us any update on what the next upcoming release is in Zymaster?
We actually retired the Zymaster series after Zymaster number 8, which was the last one last year. But we've got a series of new beers that we're releasing as limited release, and the next one that we're making, we just made Dry Hop Steam in the fall, and that was in that series of releases. So it was a steam beer that's dry hopped uniquely with some old school hops, Cascade, and a new experimental hop variety to really bring up the hop aroma in that beer, and that was a wonderful beer. And now what we're releasing just next month in January, we have a fresh take on Liberty, where we've been making Liberty Ale since 1975, and it's really the original dry hopped American Pale Ale. And we decided to update Liberty and make a Liberty IPA. So it's hopped up about 3 times the rate of Liberty, and really big pine and citrus aromas in the hop profile of that beer.
We have
we're pretty excited.
Many hop lovers in this room. That sounds great.
Yeah, and I saw the Liberty IPA label, and I look forward to. I did try the Anchor Steam and the dry hop steam side by side, and it was a really interesting comparison. So I look forward to that with Liberty as well. I hesitate to ask, Scott, has the Argonaut collection survived, or is that
we're still rolling that. Excuse me, a little early in the morning out here. The Argonaut, the last one, we re-released the Stout, the Flying Cloud Stout last year, and we've still got some of that around.
Yeah.
We don't have immediate plans for the next Argonaut. What we're doing with that series, we're taking some of those beers and barrel aging them, and we just released a barrel aged Stout this summer, and then a barrel aged barley wine this fall. So we're getting into the barrel aging. You know, we have a distillery here too, where we make a whiskey called Old Potrero, and it's been really nice to repurpose those barrels as we empty the whiskey barrels. We've been filling them with beer and aging those for quite some time, and we're starting to pull those out.
Yeah, and you guys,
it's been a fun little series.
I was going to say you have sort of the inside line because you have your own distillery. You can sort of feed beers into formerly used barrels and vice versa as well. I'm sure it goes both ways. We have, and I'm excited to sample it. We have been doing this beer every year for probably the last 5 or 6 years with your pal Mark Carpenter on the radio. We are sampling Anchor, Christmas Ale, our special ale, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, 2016, whatever you want to call it. And we're looking forward to sampling it. We've actually been cheating here a little bit, but tell us about the beer, Scott.
I have been cheating a little,
I will,
more than a little bit.
Yeah, we're very excited about this year's Christmas Ale. It's a unique Anchor tradition that's really gone on since 1975 when Fritz made the first Christmas Ale, and every year we've had a unique package and a unique beer, and we change the recipe a little bit every year. This year we made a couple of fairly big changes. For the last couple of years, we've kind of pulled spices out because we felt like we had almost gone too far with the amount of spices and the complexity of what we were adding, and we wanted to really dial in a couple of particular spices. So we focused on that, and then we also took the alcohol up a notch. So we kicked it up a notch to it's always been 5.5% alcohol, but this year is 6.5. So it definitely gives the beer a different sort of complexity. It's not as spice focused. It's very malty with a lot of roasted malts in there, and there's still a nice Christmas spice aroma and flavor. But it definitely drinks like a winter warmer.
Well, it's definitely, obviously it's a Christmas tradition with Anchor, but also even the label is a Christmas tradition because every year we have a new. What would it be, a conifer, I guess?
Yeah, new
right?
tree.
Yep.
And this year there's actually a man on the tree.
Yeah, this year is really cool. The artist Jim Stitt, who's been doing these things forever, found these images of this tree called the 1,000-mile tree. It was 1,000 miles in to building the Transcontinental Railroad back in the 1860s, and there's this tree just out in the middle of it. It looks like it's in the middle of nowhere. I'm sure the people from Heber, Utah, don't feel like they're in the middle of nowhere, but that's roughly where it is. And it's a lone pine, so it's this pine that's just set off all by itself, and it was along the route when they were building the railroad, and folks actually climbed the top of the tree and took some photos, and so there's an actual photo. If you take a look, you can even see the actual photo on the Wikipedia when you Google the 1,000-mile tree.
That's excellent.
It really does exist, and there's the guy standing up on the top and
raising a mug.
We took, waving a mug.
So, Scott, I don't know if Mark filled you in. Every year, we know this is the 42nd year, there's a secret ingredient, and every year Mark just whispers it quietly to us. I'm not sure if he sent you the memo on that, but I guess you're not willing to give up the secret ingredient this year?
We really, we hold the whole thing pretty secretive. It's interesting how many inquiries we get, and very many with people with allergy concerns. Asking about nuts specifically, and I can tell you that no nuts were harmed in the making of this beer.
And I would actually be disappointed if any of you gave up the secret ingredient. It's been going since the 70s. I've tasted just about every year of this. My older brother has a friendship with Fritz, so I've been very, very lucky to taste a lot of these. This one, it has a real nice earthiness, spiciness, and it has that creamy, velvety, soft mouthfeel that I like, and I like the 6.5% ABV change. So I'd say keep that up. Maybe 7.5 next year.
Yep.
We might actually inch it up a little bit next year. We don't really start talking about Christmas ale until March or April. So we'll make some decisions. But we actually do. We spend months perfecting the recipe and trying to get it right and brewing pilot brews, and then eventually, we have to make the first batch in July because we're shipping Christmas ale overseas in August, and it's quite the undertaking. But the kicking it up a notch on alcohol was something we consciously did because we know people age this beer as well. And we think it'll hold up better over time, and it's always fun to do those vertical tastings of the last 3 or 4 years. We don't really recommend much longer than that, although people do. We had a guy bring by some 1986 Christmas ale not too long ago, and we tasted it, and it tastes like sherry and raisins, and it's just too far gone, but it's still interesting. But at a party recently, we had a guy bring a 2010 that was in great shape, and that was a lot of fun.
Well, Scott, I will tell you that the outdoor temperature here this morning is 9. So a winter warmer, the Anchor Brewing Christmas Ale 2016 is definitely hitting the spot this morning. It's an excellent beer, and we want to thank you for being on our show. Scott Ungermann is the brewmaster and VP of production for Anchor Brewing. Scott, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Nice.
And Merry Christmas.
So bye-bye.
And the Friday Beer Buzz, powered by Sabatini's Pizza and Sabatini's Bar and Bottle Shop in Exeter, one of the area's greatest selections of rare craft and imported beers. There's growlers and crowlers, a hand pump, and 36 rotating drafts at Sabatini's Pizza and Sabatini's Bottle Shop and Bar, Wyoming Avenue, Exeter.
The Friday Beer Buzz, bringing good beers, good people together.